We are live.
Yes, we're good. Okay. Hi, everyone. Here we are again, the Blossom team. We have Diana today, our program manager, saying hi. Jida, our marketing manager. Cindy, our fundraising coordinator, and so much more. All of us wear so many different hats. And of course, our special guest speaker, Rotem. Thank you all for being here today. And all of you watching, also, thank you for being here. Hope you have your favorite choice of beverage. Also, today I have my tea ready. Salud. I'm still visiting my family here in South America, but next week I will be back in California. So here we are, another first Thursday of the month meeting to share with you all the amazing things and new programs that we are holding at Blossom. For the agenda, let's just quickly go through it. We'll have Roten talk about her, how amazing she is, and everything she does for Blossom, how thankful we are for her here. And also she's going to be talking about some of the classes that she teaches at Blossom. And then after that, Cindy will be mentioning the Mentor Mom program. And we might be also sharing some information about our picnic that we will have at Mitchell Park in Palo Alto on August 21st. So please stay until the end. And if we have even more time, we'll share a little bit more. So stay on as long as you can. There's a lot to listen to today. Okay. So without further ado, I will pass it on to Rotem.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Huge fan of Blossom. Have been working alongside Blossom for many years now, over 10 years. I am a postpartum doula in the community and also an educator and a group facilitator. And I've been working in and with Blossom for a long time. And I can't say enough for the work that Blossom has been providing to the community. And today I just want to say a few words about myself. I'm a postpartum doula, so I support families after the birth of their newborns at their homes versus a birth doula that attends births. So I'm not a birth doula. And I have a huge focus on breastfeeding. I am a breastfeeding educator and a counselor. And those are the few hats that I wear. And besides teaching and facilitating groups at Blossom, I also and I'm an educator with Sutter Health, Palo Alto Medical Foundation, and I'm also a volunteer with Nursing Mothers Council, which is an organization that supports breastfeeding moms wherever they are. It's a virtual organization. We do classes and we do peer support. So these are the few hats that I work. And when I talk about babies and families who have just had a babies, I'd like to remind everyone that it really does take a village to raise a child. And at least in the part of the world where we are in Silicon Valley, California, many of us are remote from our families, and let alone COVID days where very few people can actually come over, and families do need support after the birth of their child, just to understand a little bit what's going on and just have somebody to hold the hand, maybe prepare a meal or whatnot. And Blossom has a wonderful program where they help families find doulas that can support them. Help Me Find a Doula. It's a tremendous program that Blossom runs. I teach classes. I used to teach them back in the day at the couch room in Blossom, where we would have maybe 8 couples sitting, and we would watch videos together, and we would each have a little doll that we would swaddle and change diapers and learn a little bit. But we have switched quickly to Zoom classes, and I do those. I have 2 upcoming classes this month. The first one I want to talk about is the breastfeeding class. And as it happens, this week is a Worldwide Breastfeeding Week, and it promotes breastfeeding and protects breastfeeding families and provides resources. So anyone that is going through the journey of feeding their babies should be celebrated this week for doing so. And the breastfeeding class that I teach through Zoom is going to come up on August 22nd. And the first thing I want to focus on is number one, feed the baby. Whatever mean you have at that moment is a good way to breastfeed the baby, to feed the baby, whether it's breastfed or pumped milk through a bottle or formula if you need to. Uh, we People often ask me, do I need to take a breastfeeding class before I've had the baby, or is it just after? And I like to talk about breastfeeding before. You will feel may feel like you're learning to swim before you hit the water, and there's a lot of theory around it, and in actuality it looks and feels different when the baby arrives. But the concept of why are we breastfeeding, what are some things to look for? Um, how do we know if the baby is getting enough? Those are really important things that we need to teach early on before you've had the baby, so that I know that when I'm holding the baby and I'm feeding, how do I know if the baby is getting enough, transferring? When do I need to go to a lactation consultant? Where can I even find a lactation consultant? How does it work? A little bit of anatomy, just a tiny bit of it. And what are some things to pay attention? What is this thing? People told me that I won't have enough milk or that my nipples will be sore. What does that look like? So just kind of clarify those things. So we focus on that. We have I have a baby with one hand when I teach the class. I have a breast made out of cloth in the other hand, and I share videos that are very effective in showing what is the latch and where do you put the baby the hour after they're born, and how does all of this work. And then we transition at the end of the class, pumping, how does that work, and how do we combine those. And with Nursing Mothers Council, which is the volunteer organization, and Blossom Together, we open a bi-monthly Friday support group that is free for anyone to drop in. Again, those meetings used to be in person, and now they are over Zoom, second and fourth Fridays of the month. An hour and a half with a breastfeeding counselor such as myself or others who are volunteers to get support for your journey. So that's the first class, breastfeeding. And the other class that I teach, it's newborn care. And this one actually comes a week before. This happens on August 14 this month. And again, we learn a little bit about how to handle newborn and how to swaddle them, but we also talk about what are the expectations for newborns. And the first topic that I like to cover is the fourth trimester, which talks about the fact that newborns are born a little early and they're somewhat premature. Their nervous system, their digestive system, they're very, very new, and they really need us parents to hold them and care for them. There's no spoiling that happens in those first few weeks of their lives. There's no agenda that the baby has, and we just need to meet them where they are. So this is the concept that we talk about, the fourth trimester. What do I need around the house? Is that too much? Is that too little? What am I missing? We share that. Um, what did the early days look like? What does the day look like? Will I have any time? What does the night look like? How do I prepare? What is the sleep cycle of newborns? How do I know how often and how much does the baby need to sleep? Do I need to wake them up? Um, and then cry. If the baby cries, what do I do? How do I calm them down? What list do I go down to know that all their needs are met? We also do a little bit of movies. Again, I combed through many, many movies on YouTube, and I found really nice short clips that show the parents how to swaddle the baby and how to bathe the baby. And we talk about the temperature of the water and what's the most effective way to do it, and so on and so forth. And most importantly, when do I call the doctor? When do I go to ER? What is something, and what are some really things that everybody sees, but I'm not aware of, and maybe I don't need to go to the doctor. So those are the two classes that I teach, and I would like to welcome anyone that's expectant or knows an expectant couple to look into those. I'd love to have you in the class. Thank you.
Thank you, Roden, so much for everything you do for Blossom and for all the families. And you're right, it takes a village to raise a child. And my family also was not around when I had my children. And that's how I came across Blossom. And I will be forever grateful because I took all those classes. Actually, I also took the breastfeeding basics and the baby care class, and I had my doulas for the birth, and I felt very supported. And um, that's also one of the reasons why I'm here uh, as the director for Blossom, because I truly believe that everything we do makes a huge impact in the whole experience of becoming a mother and then after. There's a lot of classes for before, right? The preparation of pregnancy, childbirth prep, but this type of classes are very, very fundamental so that we know at least a little bit more about what to expect when we hold our babies for the first time and everything that comes with that, because it's not easy. It's wonderful, but it's not easy. So thank you for being here and supporting those families through that journey. I'm sure that somebody from my team shared the links. If you have questions, please always feel free to contact us via email. It's the best way to reach us at the moment. All right. I thought somebody wanted to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, you briefly mentioned the fourth trimester, and I know that has been a term that's going around, and kind of about those 3 months after 0 to 3 months for the baby, and maybe you could talk a little bit about that. What does that mean?
Yeah, I love to talk about that. This is actually the core of everything that we do for the first 3 months of the baby's life. And it's a term that's actually been used for many, many years. But the genius marketing guy that packaged it really nicely is Dr. Harvey Karp, who initially came with the happiest baby on the block. Back in the day, people used to go to the library and lend the CD. Now it's available on YouTube. Don't tell anyone, but I show it in my classes. And he packaged it really nicely. He's a genius. And he talks about the 5 S's. And he talks about the fact that babies are born premature because their heads are so big. Our brains have grown tremendously over the years. While the pelvis is narrow, we're standing on 2 legs, and babies have to evict the womb early. And while there's rapid brain development that happens for the first 3 months of the baby's life, and we kind of compare our newborns to the other mammals' newborns, and the other mammals can stand on their feet and go to the mom's breast, and they don't need a lactation consultant or classes or anything. But with our life, it's a little different. And he talks about what do babies really need during those first month while their brain is rapidly developing, and we want to make sure that we support it. They pretty much need whatever they've had in the womb. So what they had in the womb was movement. They had a constant sound. Shh, 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 shh. They were packaged very small, and this is why we hold them tight or we swaddle them when they're not with us. And then there's a couple of other S's. Dr. Harvey Karp has a little maneuver where he turns babies on the sides. And then the icing on the cake is pacifier. And that may contradict a little bit with breastfeeding for the first couple of weeks, but after that, some babies really enjoy pacifying themselves. But it really talks about the fact that babies are born premature. There's a lot of growth, mainly brain development, that happens early. If we can just give them what they want and put aside all our thoughts about spoiling them or making them dependent on us, and just think about how did our ancestors grow us, or a few generations back. A lot of it, babies need our body to survive. Babies need the adult body in order to protect them. So giving them what they need will ensure we have even smarter babies than what we are, which I think is hard in the Silicon Valley. Everybody's so smart as it is. And that's why babies are born with huge heads here. That's the truth. Everywhere babies have.
It's so fascinating, right? To think about when we compare us to other mammals, right? And it's kind of the default. And then you also see in a lot of the countries where the babies are held throughout the day, And that's just part of the culture. So
Yeah, and that's without reading books or Dr. Google, who's, by the way, not a real doctor. And it's always kind of a shocking surprise. And just follow the instincts. And a lot of families that I work with, I come the day after and they say the baby wouldn't sleep anywhere else but on my body. Babies do need a human adult to protect them. And that's why they have it in their DNA that they really need. And we try and trick them. And Dr. Harvey Karp came up with a snoo that kind of pretends that it's a person. But at the end of the day, they do need a lot of touch and a lot of contact.
thank you for that. Very fascinating.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I also remember the happiest baby on the block. Long time ago. Well, not that long ago. My kids are 11 and 9 now, and they still need a lot of affection and touch and attention. And it's true. We are different. We're very different. We need that for a longer time, maybe forever, but especially when they are born.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's have another little sip before we continue. Okay, there's no more questions for Rotem. Let's go to the next point, which was Cindy. She is going to talk about the Mentor Mom program, which is going great. Go ahead, Cindy.
Carolina, and thank you, Rotem, for how much of yourself you've given to Blossom and shared with Blossom over the years. We're really grateful for that. I will never forget when a volunteer joined us from Japan for a year, and then you offered to pick her up and take her to a class because she didn't have transportation. That's well above and beyond what anyone could have asked for. So we're really, truly grateful. It's nice to see you, even though I'm not in person with you. So yes, thanks. What I'm here to talk about very briefly is the Mentor Moms program. This is a free program, and it's a one-on-one network where a Blossom mom, or a mom who doesn't know about Blossom, but who is pregnant or just had a baby, would like a one-on-one peer support system within someone that we find a match for. And so what we need at Blossom are more mentor moms. Now, what is a mentor mom? A mentor mom is simply someone who has had the experience of motherhood, having raised a child or more than one child already, and who has about roughly maybe 1 hour a week to dedicate to a pregnant or new mom over a period of 6 months' time by any form of communication that the mom pair chooses. So it could be texts, it could be phone calls, it could be video calls, and some of our mom pairings, we have 6 pairs already who are meeting each other one way or another, and they get to set up the frequency of contact. The whole purpose is so that the expectant or new mom knows that they're not alone. It provides an unbiased listener, especially for any moms who might find it difficult to either make new friends, perhaps they're new to the area, or perhaps the existing friend network, they don't have any children yet, so they're the first. And that's how we were as a couple too. And so what we need are more mentors. And fortunately, we now have 6 who've been trained. The mentors do receive a 2-hour training provided by Marnie Levinson, who is a licensed therapist. And she donates her time to provide that training so that we as mentors know maybe what to look for in terms of depression or high anxiety regarding some of the moms or moms-to-be. And to become a mentor, it's very simple. All you need to do is find this page. So on our website under self-care, it's the mentoring program. And then up near the bottom of this page on the left, where we have Become a Mentor Mom. Thank you, Deanna, for sharing that. There's a fill out a Mentor Mom application, and it's a Google form. It will ask you a series of questions. Many of them are actually optional, but the whole purpose is to learn a bit more about you as a mentor, why you want to be helpful to another mom, and what it means to you. Also, we ask sometimes if there are any struggles that you had yourself while going through this, so that if, for example, you had a lactation issue, and if I have received an application from a Blossom mom who's having some difficulties with breastfeeding, then I'll try to make that match happen. And it's been really happily received so far, and we hope to grow the program a lot. So that's what we need. And so thank you everyone for tuning in today. And if you have any more questions about it, the email address is also available on that page. So I'll now hand it over to Deanna. She's going to talk a little bit about our picnic.
Yeah, first, Carolina, did you want to share an exciting demo that we're going to have at our picnic?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Diana. So like I quickly mentioned at the beginning, the picnic is on August 21st, and it starts at around 10. At 10:30, I will be teaching a free prenatal yoga class, only 30 minutes. I encourage anybody who has never done yoga, who is pregnant, to participate, or anyone who's already done yoga for a while. I am very keen in guiding everybody, no matter where they are in their pregnancy stage, and also in regards to yoga. If they've never done yoga, I make sure to guide you in the direction that you will be more comfortable. So please come and join us for that part. And of course, for the lunch, bring your own blanket, your own lunch. We will have some beverages there at the park, water bottles and some juice boxes. Everything will be, of course, social distance. That's why we encourage you to bring your own meal. The nice thing is that we can be safely together at the park, socially distanced, and you can choose to wear a mask if you prefer to. The prenatal yoga class, when I teach it, we are far apart. I do take off my mask so you can hear me, and you again can choose if you want to keep your mask on. But that's not all that we are having that day. And now I hand it over to you, Deanna.
Thank you, Carolina. Yes, so the word doula has come up a few times in our conversation at Blossom. We love to talk about doulas. So for anyone who is having a baby, we know that pregnancy is a time where you might have a lot of questions, right? You might be wondering what's normal, what's not normal. You might wonder how you're going to cope with labor. You might wish that you had someone who could help your partner and guide your partner through the whole process as well. So if you're thinking to yourself, gosh, I wish there was an expert who could help me through this pregnancy and postpartum, they exist. Doulas are professionally trained to specifically provide information about your care choices, provide emotional encouragement and physical support. As Rotem already mentioned, birth doulas will meet with you prenatally and help you to prepare for the birth. They will support you throughout the labor and delivery. And then, as she mentioned, postpartum doulas support you after the baby's here at your home, usually the first few weeks or months as the family's adjusting to life with baby, and can help with things like breastfeeding and baby care and your postpartum recovery. There's even doulas who provide nighttime support to help you get additional rest. So doulas are a wonderful, wonderful resource. So if you're looking to hire a doula and you think that would be a great resource for your family, number one, we know how important it is that you find someone that you feel safe and comfortable with, right? This person is going to be with you at a very intimate chapter of your life. So when choosing a doula, you really want someone that you feel a good connection with, a good rapport. So that's why at Blossom, we like to host these doula meet and greets. I'm going to share my screen. So the meet and greets are really a great opportunity for expecting families to meet with several doulas all in one place, right? You can get to know them, learn about their services, ask them questions, and it's really a good way to get a sense of who would be a good fit for your family. So again, this will be Saturday, August 21st. The doulas will be at the park from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We do have a mix of birth and postpartum doulas planning to come. So if you're looking for one or the other or both, we'll have some doulas there that you can meet. And as Carolina mentioned, we're going to be socially distanced and wearing masks to be as safe as possible. And if I scroll down a little bit here, we highly encourage you, if you're interested in coming, you can register in advance online. Always highly recommended, but we also do accept drop-ins for anyone who decides to stop by on the day of. Yeah, so we hope that you will come and join us for doulas outdoors at the park, and that you'll hopefully find someone who's a good fit for your family and your needs.
Thank you, Diana. And for anybody who has never been at Mitchell Park, let me also just quickly, in a moment, share screen. I just want to make sure I have the right page open. Yes, so right here, outdoor classes and guidelines, maps and class information under yoga and fitness. And please, if one of you can post this link also under the video, you can see here's Mitchell Park information. Here's a picture of where we're going to be, the parking lot. It's loading a little slow on my end, but here it is. All the information is there. And like we've said, you can always reach out to us, and we'll be available. We will be here to help you answer any questions. Also, we teach yoga at Mitchell's Park, and we have a support group there as well in person. And we recently added Las Palmas in Sunnyvale, also a yoga class, but not just that, also a prenatal and postpartum pelvic floor class, which I think is extremely important. And I'm very excited that we have this opportunity now to share this class with you. To register for that class, you can also just click on yoga and fitness, and all the way here where it says pelvic floor workshop, you'll find information. And it's alternating. The second Thursday of the month, the first one will be prenatal, and then next month postpartum pelvic floor, and then it alternates. You can read about it here on our website. And then the other exciting pelvic floor workshop that we have is online with Leslie Howard. I hope that you can take either one or maybe all of them, because you will definitely get a little bit different information or more information the more classes you take. And this is a very important subject that sometimes is not even talked about. But our bodies change when we go through the pregnancy and the delivery. And I love that now we're paying more attention to it, and that we're talking about it, and that we're giving this information for women. So that's all I have. I don't know if anybody else wants to share.
Sure, I'll close with a few things. With that pelvic floor workshop, I remember we had a brief conversation where I think other countries actually have it. I don't know remember which ones, but some actually include it as part of the.
Yes.
I think you were.
Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that's very important.
In South America, it's not talked about yet. I hope that eventually it is. Also, diastasis separation. When I had my babies, the doctors didn't check. Now, when I speak with moms, some moms have doctors that checked, others don't. But now we're getting more information, more informed, and we're taking better care of ourselves, which is very important.
Which is why we renamed our tab to self-care versus just support, because we really want to promote that you can only take care of your loved ones as well as you yourself are being taken care of. So the mentorship mom program and our support groups, whoever we can partner with to give those, I think is great. Yeah, and some key dates. August 21st, 10 to 2 is our picnic. 11 to 1 is the doula meet and greet at Mitchell Park. It will be fun. You'll get to see us in person. Some of us will be there, and we want to see those little cheeks and the little kids and enjoy some time getting to know you guys again. We don't have that opportunity at our physical space, so we're hoping that we can build a little bit of that connection and the community for you and for others to get help you build your village.
Exactly, beautifully said, Gita. We are very lucky in California that we have this weather, so please join us, socially distantly safe, build community, bring your friends, let's get together as much as we can, and stay safe, and see you guys next month, first Thursday of the month in our live happy hour. Thank you so much.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you, Rotem. Thank you.